Alright, I'm gonna prep some kabobs for dinner. First thing first is I'm gonna get some seitan started. I cook it, people cook it so many different ways, but I cook it in the oven wrapped in foil, and it does take about an hour and a half. So I'm gonna preheat my oven to 350. It's just my husband and I that eat this, and it's really filling and makes a lot, so I'm only gonna make 1 cup. One cup makes a decent loaf. You'll see when it's all cooked and mixed in, but anything more than this is gonna feed an army. But it freezes, so if you want to make it and freeze it, if you like that, freezes well. I like to recook it on the skillet, so that's why I try not to overcook this in the oven. This is just a big bag of Vital Wheat Gluten. With this cup of gluten flour, I'm gonna add a tiny bit of liquid aminos, about, I don't know, 2 teaspoons maybe. Gives it some salty flavor. Also about 2 teaspoons of olive oil. I'm gonna do a little bit of tomato paste. Not a lot. Another, just like a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Whoops. And I usually make my own seasoning for this, but because we're doing kabobs later with vegetables, I thought za'atar seasoning would be really good. So I bought a pre-made one. And I'll go ahead and measure this out. Let's see, we have maybe 1.5 tablespoons, and I'm gonna marinate this later when it comes out of the oven with the vegetables, so I think that's good. Now, usually when you make seitan, it's 1-to-1 water, but I don't like 1-to-1 flour and water, but I don't like to overdo the water, so I'm gonna start with 1/2 cup of warm water. And we'll see what that looks like. It's gonna look something like this. Again, people make this so many different ways. There's a washed flour method I've never tried. This is a little too dry. I'm gonna do another 1/2 cup and add it little by little. Some people say to need this more, need this less. I don't know. For making something like this, it's really a personal preference, and I think you have to make it a few times to know what you like. So this is probably 1 cup of water to 1 cup of flour, just like it's recommended. It looks pretty good. I'm mixing all this seasoning and tomato paste in there. I think this will be really good. Okay. So to make this, I wrap it in foil pretty tight. You don't want it to pop open because pieces of it that are showing in the oven that aren't covered will get pretty hard. You won't be able to eat it, or it won't be good. It's gonna look a little funny, like a little log. Since this one is pretty tiny, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it really, really good and twist the ends. Once the oven's preheated, I'm gonna put this in for 90 minutes and get started on prepping my kabobs. Okay, I'm gonna cut my garlic and throw that into my marinade. Okay, I drained and rinsed my skewers that were soaking in water. From here, you will just carefully, I have done this before, and it was not pretty because the ends are sharp. Just assemble your skewers however you want. You can do all mushrooms if you want, all zucchini, change it up. They should all cook the same, I think. I don't have a barbecue because where I live it snows too much. I think I'm gonna bake these in the oven if I don't do the stovetop, and we're gonna marinate them. So I'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll check on our seitan as well. All right, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kabobs here, full of, that's 1 package of 8-ounce mushrooms, 1 zucchini, a handful of mini bell peppers, and half a red onion. If you want more than that, you're gonna have to get another dish and make some more marinade. But now, dinner is practically done. These are gonna marinate all day in the refrigerator. I'm gonna mix this up before I pour it on. Smells delicious. And throughout the day, I'll probably turn these because it's not enough marinade to really cover. So we'll go ahead and give them a turn. I don't know if I'll marinate the seitan. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I might just heat it back up when it's ready, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna cover this with foil and put it in my fridge. All right, my timer went off for an hour and a half for the seitan, and it did not pop out of the foil, so that's good. I'd recommend, unless you have like heavy duty foil, maybe double wrap it because you really don't want it. I did not check on it or flip it at all. I just let it cook. You can if you want to. I'm gonna open this up so we can take a look. Okay, I'm gonna cut this open so it cools faster. See, it has kind of a spongy texture. Again, I cook it my way because I know I'm gonna reheat it later and it's gonna cook up again on the skillet, or if I decide to throw it on the kabob, Some people like less of a spongy texture, and that's perfectly okay. I mean, you can mess with it however you want. You can even take this loaf and marinate it in another marinade in the fridge before you cook it up later. Good.